On the broadcast tonight, SGA has announced that all student groups will see budget cuts of at least 6%. We have the latest on why this is happening and what's to come next.
President Biden spoke to both houses of Congress on Wednesday, the recap of his speech and the Republican response.
And leave it to Beavers, how some beavers in Canada knock some people off the grid.
All of that and more right now on SUTV News.
Good evening and welcome to SUTV News. I'm Adam Beam.
And I'm Liv Fayenza. We want to begin tonight with an apology to you, our viewers.
You may have noticed that our weekly news broadcast was posted late Thursday night, and by mid-morning Friday, it was gone. Well, that's because if you watched our broadcast while it was still up, a curse word made its way into the show.
The anchor Marley Bowman has a statement.
Last week during our Thursday broadcast, while on camera, I had used some inappropriate language. I wanted to take the time to apologize to our viewers if any of you were offended by what I had said, and promise to do better for the future. Thank you.
The coronavirus has impacted so much of our campus living for over a year now, and many student groups recently learned that more changes are coming and would say not for the better. In an email sent to the leadership of all student groups and club sports, Chase Slenker, SGA Vice President of Finance, explains that due to a decrease in enrollment and other financial troubles due to COVID-19 and the student activity fee, student groups' budgets will now be cut by 6%. One of the causes of this budget cut is due to the university buying back control over on-campus housing. As a result, SGA lost revenue and has not been able to balance the budget, leading to these cuts. Currently, these budget cuts are only set to affect campus groups and club sports. No other activities and foundations, including the athletic department, seem to be affected by this decision. Shippensburg University has announced some exciting new changes for the fall 2021 semester. Students can expect a return to in-person learning without social distancing, with other opportunities such as internships, study abroad, and career fairs throughout the semester. As of now, classes are slated to start on August 23rd. In addition, all facilities on campus will be open, allowing students to experience everything Shippensburg has to offer. Students will also be able to attend or participate in events like homecoming, marching band performances, face-to-face club meetings, and a plethora of other activities on both on and off campus. The university will continue to require face coverings, as well as maintaining sanitizing and temperature stations throughout campus. We look forward to seeing the return of a vibrant campus experience this fall semester.
ShipFest is here. SUTV's Alicia Laluz has more.
This weekend's ShipFest, hosted by the Cub, has kicked off with a bang. On Thursday, the Lurs Performing Arts Center hosted comedians Carlos Miller and Darren Big Baby Brand from MTV's Wildin' Out for a night of comedy. Keeping the fun going, on Saturday, the ShipFest Carnival in the C7 lot is promised to be a night filled with good food and good music. The festivities kick off at 7 with inflatable mazes, bull riding, and more, with student performers and a special guest performance from Noah and the Rubber Band at 9 in the hockey rink. Alicia Laluz for SUTV.
Communication and journalism students might have a promising opportunity coming in the next few months, as Dr. Damon Chattopadhyay and Dr. Carrie Sipes have recently received an $8,000 grant for research that will need the help of students like you. I had a chance to sit down with Professor Chattopadhyay to discuss their plans and what this project will entail.
The title of the study is Does Inclusivity Build Trust? Examining effects of inclusive community-centered journalism on trust in media among minority groups. So essentially what we are arguing, or what I'm arguing, is that members of minority groups trust the media even less than other people for various reasons. Could be they don't see themselves enough, and maybe they don't see stories about them, and so on. So what can we do? Essentially, the question is a 100-year-old question. What can we do to build trust in the media among people who don't trust the media? But we are looking at it through a very different lens of community journalism. So that's what it is. That's what the outline of this project is.
How would you say students can get involved and reach out, and how to go about joining this project that you guys have planned?
How can students get involved in what really is the project? So it's a three-part project, and students can get involved in one or more parts. So in the first part, we are conducting a survey with different minority groups. So we're going to reach out next week, starting next week, with grad and undergrad students, those who may belong to minority organizations. Let's say they are president of the campus chapter of the Latino Students Association, as simple as that. Or maybe they're they're Muslim in faith, and therefore in the wherever they stay, they or their parents belong to a Muslim association of Harrisburg. So can we get students to help us reach these organization secretaries and presidents and so on? Because through their database, we can't just randomly send surveys to 300 people. That's not a good scientific approach. The approach is we need to identify 8 or 9 of these groups. We already have some. But more importantly, they are going to do quick training with students saying, this is how you should record an interview. If you want this to be our radio news, this is the level we need. So really hands-on training as they go into the field. Those 10 students will accompany us and meet different communities. So one student will go and do the Greek Orthodox. One student is focusing on Amish communities, like that. And they'll go and talk to these folks, ask them, well, what's important in your world? What are stories you want to be told in the news organizations? What are stories you don't hear or see? What's bothering you? What really matters to you? And we will write news feature stories on those topics using their codes. That's somewhere students will learn really the art of how to interview, how to write, both for online and for radio.
If you have any questions about the project, you can reach out to Dr. Chattopadhyay at dchattopadhyay@ship.edu and to Dr. Sipes at casipes@ship.edu.
The Student Leadership Awards were held yesterday in the Performing Arts Center. Groups and individuals went home with awards celebrating their achievements, including the Shippensburg University Marching Band, APB, and ACT. Student media also made an appearance, with the Slate and WSYC winning awards and SUTV getting nominated for an award. SUTV congratulates all of the winners from last night's awards. What's coming up in the Slate this week?
Paige Shope is here with more.
Coming up this week in the Slate, the opinion section will feature a Slate Speaks on the upcoming graduation. Our Ship Life section will feature horoscopes and a list on the best graduation party themes. Sports will have a feature on baseball player Juju Kayson and various recaps from the past week. The news section will cover the SGA 2021-2022 budget and an interview with President Carter. Finally, the arts and entertainment section will cover the SU band concert and the new Shape Gallery. Don't forget to follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at ShipUSlate, and be sure to pick up the next edition of the Slate Tuesdays on newsstands or read anytime at theslateonline.com.
The semester may be coming to an end, and Shippensburg's Activities Program Board has programs lined up to go out with a bang. SUTV's Alicia Laluz has the details on the organization's upcoming program.
This weekend, Shippensburg's Activities Program Board, known to students as APB, will be hosting a scavenger hunt across campus for students. Happening Saturday, May 1st from 1 to 4 p.m., students will have the chance to compete in the hunt in pairs or singles for APB's prizes of the day. I had the chance to speak with the event's organizer and APB's marketing designer, Bill Hoffman, about the event, who said that APB is super excited and has a lot of great things planned for the program. Alicia Laluz for SUTV.
The State System of Higher Education, also known as PASHE, is launching a new training initiative for all students. Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, or DEI training, is designed to give students the knowledge to, quote, embrace DEI in their lives today and as citizens of the world tomorrow, end quote. Chief Diversity Officer Stephanie Girard sent a video out campus-wide to talk about the new training to SHIP students.
This training manual and pod that you will be engaged in is to prepare you for today and tomorrow. Let's face it, students, you are paying us tuition dollars. Why are you paying us tuition? So that we can prepare you to be better people and to be competent professionals. This training in what we call DEI, Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion, is to prepare you and to teach you all the ways of the world in which to deal with humanity.
The training is required by the state system. However, there is no due date for the training as of now. President Biden on Wednesday night made history for a number of reasons in his first meeting with the joint session of Congress as president, just on the eve of his first 100 days in office. As he spoke in front of Vice President Kamala Harris and Speaker of the House Nancy Pelosi, a first in U.S. history, the speech covered many different aspects of the administration, mainly all that they have accomplished so far and what they plan to do moving forward. Speaking to a crowd of socially distanced senators and representatives, Biden continued to encourage Americans to get vaccinated.
Go get vaccinated, America. Go and get the vaccination. They're available.
One of the biggest promises of the night was arguably Biden's plan for the economy. From the $15 minimum wage to his new American Families Plan, which he hopes will dedicate $1.8 trillion towards education and family care. Amidst the Derek Chauvin verdict and shooting deaths like Andrew Brown and Anthony Alvarez, the country feels more divided than ever. Before, tensions were high and many demanding justice daily, President Biden spoke of police reform and holding officers accountable for their actions while on duty.
We have to come together to rebuild trust between law enforcement and the people they serve, to root out systemic racism in our criminal justice system, and to enact police reform in George Floyd's name.
Across the aisle, it was Republican Senator Tim Scott who gave an address speaking on how many Republicans felt towards Biden's speech.
Our nation is starving for more than empty platitudes. We need policies and progress that brings us closer together. But 3 months in, the actions of the president and his party are pulling us further and further apart.
As mentioned, the speech was filled with a number of promises and plans for the months ahead, and we'll have to wait and see how many of these promises become a reality.
As more and more Americans get their vaccines and COVID numbers slowly decrease, President Biden and the CDC have announced new guidelines for those who have received their 2 shots to follow. The guidelines say that fully vaccinated individuals can now partake in activities such as hiking, running, walking, biking, and more without having to wear a mask, either when you're doing it alone or with your members of your household. Small outdoor gatherings and dining outdoor with a mix of fully vaccinated and unvaccinated individuals will also be a maskless endeavor moving forward.
For those who haven't gotten their vaccination yet, especially if you're younger or think you don't need it, this is another great reason to go get vaccinated. Now.
With President Biden lowering the age of eligibility to 16 years or older, it is now easier than ever before to get yourself vaccinated. If you or someone you know is wondering how to get your first dose, head to www.vaccinefinder.org.
Well lived. So, have you gotten yourself vaccinated?
I sure have, Adam. Have you?
I have gotten my first dose. I actually got it just a week ago. And I have to say, it was the weirdest of circumstances because when I went, it was snowing, and it is literally the middle of April. So,
well, hopefully there's no more snow after that.
Well, there's only one way to find out. Let's send it over to Angel B. Money with the weather.
After a very windy day, I'm surprised I didn't blow away, but the sun shines its way into next week. Tonight, temps drop into the low 40s with strong wind gusts up to 40 miles an hour. Tomorrow, a mostly sunny day with a high of 66. Looking ahead, things heat up with a high of 84 on Sunday. The rain returns on Monday with possible storms and a high of 73. Temps rise on Tuesday to 83 and begin to gradually decline as we close out the week. Hopefully, those April showers will be coming to an end, so be on the lookout for Mayflowers as we approach the new month. That's all for the weather this week. I'm Angel B. Money. Now back to Adam and Liv at the desk.
Beavers are to blame for a disruption of internet and TV service for some in Western Canada over the weekend. A colony of beavers chewed through a fiber optic cable near their dam in the district of Tumbler Ridge early Sunday. Internet service was disrupted for hundreds of residents. TV service and cell phone coverage was also affected. Workers with TELUS telecommunication company discovered the dam near a buried cable that supplies the community. According to TELUS, the cable was 3 feet underground and had a 5-inch thick conduit for protection. But the Beavers had chewed right through the conduit and the cable in several locations. The company said that some of the material, including bright red fiber marking tape, was noticeable in the construction of the Beaver Dam. It took workers about 36 hours to fix the problem and restore service to customers.
You know, I'm very grateful that those beavers were nowhere near my house. If they had knocked out my Wi-Fi, I wouldn't have been able to watch the Josh fight.
Exactly, I know, right?
Now I just have a question. Did you vote on Josh or did you vote on Josh?
I must say, I voted on Josh.
Well, I'm grateful that Josh won. But that's it for this week's edition of SUTV News. I'm Adam Beam.
And I'm Liv Faenza. Be sure to follow all of our social media at SUTV News and check out our website at sutvnews.org.
We're back with sports on Tuesday, but until then, good night.